In this video, I'm going to be ranking the top 5 best value cards at each position in NBA 2K23 My Team. So the top 5 best value point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, and centers, just who I think are the best value cards at each position. And if you guys don't know what I mean by best value card, is a card that is extremely good in game and for what he goes for on the auction house. So for example, at our starting point, or not starting, but number one for the best 5 value point guards in the game, I do think the best is Hedo Turkoglu. The fact that he's about 70,000 MT and debatably a top 5 point guard in the game, I think just has extremely good value when we're talking about MT compared to a card like maybe a Penny Hardaway or a Dark Matter Cade, who are still great point guard cards. Not saying these are the top 5 point guards in the game, just going to be cards that are, really good for their price tag in game. So number one for the top 5 best value point guards, I do think is going to be the Galaxy Super Hedo Turkoglu, just because of his size at the point guard position, 6'10", and has an amazing jump shot with the John Stockton base, the Trae Young upper on very quick timing. Just his size of the center position or size of the point guard position is super valuable with him having that good of a jump shot. At the number 2 spot is actually going to be the Dark Matter Shea. I think he's very underrated at the point guard position compared to some people are saying like he's not a top 10 point guard. I think he's top 10 in my opinion. 6'6" at the point guard position, 6'11" wingspan. The card's got great all-around stats and badges like 35 hops and pretty much perfect stats. And then I do really like his jump shot. I think that's what it comes down to with Shea. I think he's got an amazing jump shot. He's got the Kyle Lowry size up, the Trae Young escape. He's got that D-Mitch leaner. He's got the Dame behind the back, quick drops off one, and the front clutches as well. And the card goes for about, I think, like 110 to 125,000 MT right now. Maybe he'll be a little bit lower. At the number 3 spot is going to be the Galaxy Super Jalen Rose. This card is only about 20 to 25,000 MT, and that is such good value for this Opal Jalen Rose card. The fact that you can get him for that cheap, and he's going to be a point guard small forward, 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan, but at the point guard position, he's got good size, great defensive stats and badges, also has great defensive tendencies, including a 92 on-ball steal, 88 contest shot, 88 block shot. I think for Jalen Rose, it really just comes down to his jump shot if you do like it, because for me personally, I think it's a great release. And then he's also got like the best dribble sigs in the game with the Steve Francis size up in the Trae escape. So for about 20,000 MT, I think Jalen Rose is the 3rd best value point guard currently in my team. At the number 4 spot and number 5 are both going to be very similar point guard cards, and that is going to be the Galaxy Super KPJ and the new Galaxy Super Harold Miner. I think are very similar point guards. I mean, both are on the same height and same wingspan. I'll just quickly compare the cards so we can look at both at the same time because they're very, very similar. I think they're both great on the offensive side of the ball, very similar height, wingspan, player model, all the type of stuff. You look at their stats, I mean, pretty much identical, not going to be too big of a difference there. You look at their badges, pretty much the same badge count. Like he's got 3 more Hall of Fames for Harold Miner, unpluckable, guard up, amped for KPJ, and then Harold Miner does have like, anchor, glove, menace on Hov. So really not that big of a difference when it comes to their stats and their badges, their tendencies. I mean, Harold Miner does have a little bit better of an on-ball steal, but the biggest difference probably is, their sigs and their jump shot. I do think Harold Miner has slightly better movement in game because of the Curry size up. I do think is a lot better than I do think the Curry size up's a lot better than the Fox size up. And I also do like the Dame behind the back over the Trae escape, I do like the Dame behind the back over the Trae Young behind the back. But the biggest difference of why I think KPJ is slightly better is just because of this jump shot. It's one of the best, if not in my opinion, the best jump shot in the game. The KPJ base, the KPJ upper on very quick timing is just such a knockdown release. So I do think KPJ is the 4th best value point guard in the game. And then I do think Harold Miner is the 5th best value point guard currently in my team. Now moving on to the top 5 best value shooting guards. At the number 1 spot, I do think is going to be the Dark Matter Vince Carter. I know it might sound crazy that a card that's about 300,000 MT is going to be considered a good value card. It's because he's one of the top shooting guards in the game and can compete against all the other top ones like the Tracy McGrady's, the Terry Dishingers, the Tim Thomases, the Steve Smith. He's on that type of level. Not saying he's as good or better than those shooting guard cards, but I do think he's somewhat comparable and can compete and hold the zone and still be a great offensive shooting guard. So if you're looking for a card that's going to be on that Tracy McGrady, T-Mac, Terry Dischinger, Tim Thomas, Steve Smith type of level, I do think Vince Carter is extremely good value at that shooting guard position. At the number 2 spot though is going to be the Opal Ricky Davis for, once again, just his offense. You know, he's a super good offensive 2 guard for only about like 40,000 MT right now, maybe even a little bit lower. 6'7" at the shooting guard position, 6'10" wingspan. His jump shot is still super knocked down with the Seth Curry base and the Oscar Robertson upper on very quick timing. Also got pretty solid dribble sigs, but the main thing about Ricky Davis is definitely going to be his jump shot. At the number 3 spot is actually going to be the Galaxy Big Z. He's recently just become a buy now. He's about 95 to 100,000 MT when I'm recording this video, and the reason why he's going to be in this top 5 is just because of his size at the shooting guard position. He's 7'3" at the 2 spot with a 7'6" wingspan, obviously from the out of position set, and that's just going to be super valuable to have on your court because you can run so many different cards around Big Z. If you want to have a little bit smaller small forwards or a little bit smaller power forwards, you know, in game, Big Z can make up for that because he can pretty much guard the 4 and the 5 and just be a super big body at the shooting guard position. So I do think if you know how to use him right, I think Big Z is easily a top 5 best value shooting guard right now in my team. And then for the number 4 and the number 5 spot, once again, just like KPJ and Harold Miner are going to be very similar cards, and that is the Galley Simple Richard Jefferson at number 5 and then the Galley Simple Luol Deng at the number 4 spot. So first off here, looking at Deng, I'll do that quick comparison as well, just so you guys can see, you know, both the cards and how they do stack up against each other. Very similar when it comes to the height, the wingspan. Luol Deng's a little bit taller. I would say RJ has the slightly better player model. You look at their stats, I mean, yeah, Luol Deng's going to be slightly better on defense, like +5 interior defense, +4 perimeter, +6 steal, +2 block. I don't think you're going to notice too big of a difference. RJ's a little bit better at finishing around the basket with a +12 vertical and a +8 driving dunk. Badges going to be very similar. Both have 18 on Hoff, and then 34 golds for RJ and 36 golds for Luol Deng. The main thing comes down to the animations, and I think I like Richard Jefferson's jump shot a tad bit more, not by a ton, and then I do think Luol Deng has a better dribble sig, so very similar at the shooting guard position. Luol Deng only goes for about, I think, like 25,000 MT, maybe 20k, and RJ's under 10,000 MT, so both going to be extremely good value shooting guards that I do think are in the top 5. Now moving on to the top 5 best value small forwards. At the number 1 spot, no question, is going to be the Galliano Brian Scalabrine, easily a top 5 small forward in the game. And that's saying something when there's so many good small forwards like Dark Matter Bull, like Hero Chat, like the Dark Matter KG. I think he's probably number 4 after those 3 top tier cards in the game, and he's only about 70 to 75k right now, and he is such a good all-around small forward. He's pretty much a perfect card. He's got perfect tendencies. His jump shot's knocked down with the Jonathan Bender jump shot on very quick timing. He's got the Steve Francis size up, the tray escape, pretty much the best dribble sigs in the game. Quick drops off 1, front clutches, pretty much perfect stats and badges. All around, Scalabrine for only about 75k is such good value at that small forward position. For the number 2 spot is going to be Opal AK-47. This card is now dropped to about 35 to 40k, maybe even a little bit lower. Like on Friday, he was around 25 to 30,000 MT, and that is such crazy good value for AK-47, a guy that's still going to be a top, you know, small forward in my team. I think probably comes in at the number 5 spot when we're talking about the top 5 small forwards in the game, and he is such a good two-way card, giving you that elite level defense, one of the best locks in the game, and then also does have a very solid jump shot and can still move a little bit on the offensive end. For the number 3 spot though is going to be the Galliano Thurl Bailey, just because of his size at the small forward position and everything he does on the court is extremely good value in my opinion. Like, he doesn't really have any flaws necessarily. 6'11" at the 3, 7-foot wingspan, all around great stats and badges. Like, I can't really think of a flaw when it comes to Thurl Bailey. He's got a good jump shot on very quick timing. He's got the Steph Curry escape. He's got the Steph Curry size up and the John Wall escape. He does have the D Mitch leaner, you know, great dribble sigs. He can drive to the basket with some of the best slashing animations in the game. And then at the number 4 spot, I will put Big Z once again, just because, again, his size, his wingspan is super valuable at that small forward position, whether you want to run the card at the small forward spot or whether you want to run the card at the shooting guard position. Just insanely good value for Big Z that I do think he's got to be here for the small forwards as well. And then to round off the top 5 best value small forwards in the game, I do think this guy is actually going kind of under the radar. I know it's because a lot of people expected him to be at the 2, and that's going to be the Galliusupo Cedric Maxwell. Yes, I do wish he could play the shooting guard position, but for only about 10 to 15,000 MT, he is such good value at the small forward position. 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan. His jump shot is super knockdown with the O'Shea base, the Rudy Gay upper. On very quick time, he's got the Carmelo Anthony size up, the Steph Curry escape, Dame behind the back, quick drops off one, front clutches. Like, he just does everything at an extremely high level for, once again, only about 10 to 15,000 MT. So these are going to be my top 5 best value small forwards in the game. Now moving on to the top 5 best value power forwards. Number 1 is easily going to be the Pink Diamond Taco Fall. And not even a question, not even a debate in my opinion, just because I know it might sound crazy, this card's only about 150,000 MT. The fact that Taco Fall is going for half the price of Vince Carter, he's going for around the same price as a Big Z. That is just crazy good value for a card that can compete against the Manute Bulls, the Yao Mings, these tall top tier cards in the game for only about 150, 175,000 is such good value for Taco Fall, being a 7'6" power forward with an 8'2" wingspan. At the number 2 spot is going to be the Galliusupo Thurl Bailey, just because once again of his size, his defensive animations, and just really has no flaws on the card. All around such a good power forward and a small forward card for only about 40,000 MT. For the number 3 spot is going to be Pink Diamond Jonathan Bender. I think number 3 and number 4 are very different type of cards. Like, they have completely different play styles, but I do think Kevon Looney comes in at the number 4 spot. Once again, very different. Looney's going to be a great defender. You know, maybe not the tallest power forward in the game, doesn't have the greatest size in the world, but he's going to be an elite level defender, 95 block, 95 steal, 96 perimeter, 97 interior defense, you know, super athletic card, tons and tons of good Hall of Fame defensive badges, only missing one, which is going to be Challenger. And then they also gave the card great dribble sigs. It just really comes down to, can you green with his jump shot? And then also talking about Jonathan Bender, maybe a little bit better at small forward, but he's still 7 foot with a 7'4" wingspan and can definitely play that power forward position. Has such a good jump shot, really good dribble sigs. He just moves extremely well for your power forward. And then to round off the top 5 best value power forwards in the game, I do think at the number 5 spot is going to be the Pink Diamond Hero Mo Bamba. I mean, the card's got great defense, great size at that center position, being 7 foot with a 7'10" wingspan, and he only goes for about 10 to 15,000 MT. Now talking about the top 5 best value centers in the game, I do think a lot of these cards are very similar. I got Marc Gasol at number 1, and then I do have Brook Lopez at number 2. I think they're very similar cards in game. I do like Marc Gasol's jump shot a tad bit more. Brook probably has a slightly better player model, but they're both going to be around the same height, same wingspan, pretty similar player models, but I do like Marc Gasol's jump shot slightly more, and that's why I do have Gasol at number 1 and Brook Lopez at number 2. Talking about the 3rd best value center in the game is going to be the Pink Diamond Peter Gudmundsson, only now about 30,000 MT for this card. Also, Marc Gasol is about 55-60k, and Brook Lopez is about 70 to 80,000 MT. But yeah, talking about Peter, 7'2" at the 5, 7'10" wingspan, elite level defense, and it's just going to be a big body at that center position, which is obviously super valuable. And then for the last 2 spots, a card that I was not expecting to put on this list, I will have, I think at number 5 is going to be the Pink Diamond to the Dark Matter Mitchell Robinson. I'll talk about that card here in a second. And then also Tyson Chandler comes in at the number 4 spot. Tyson Chandler under 10,000 MT and just gonna have great size at that center spot, 7'1" with a 7'3" wingspan, amazing athletically, 97 strength, 98 vertical, 92 speed, 92 acceleration, an elite level defender. And then very similar stuff with Mitchell Robinson, gonna be what, 7'1" I believe. Yeah, 7'1", 7'2" wingspan, just like Tyson Chandler, super athletic, has an elite level defense, every single Hall of Fame defensive badge in the game. I just do think Tyson Chandler has the slightly better jump shot. But these are going to be my top 5 best value centers in the game. So just to go over the top 5 best value cards at each position once again, these are going to be my top 5 best value point guards, top 5 best value shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, and then centers. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about my top 5 best value cards at each position, and let me know what you guys would change about it, and maybe some other cards you guys think could be in these top 5s. But hopefully you guys did find this video helpful, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.